Hi, everybody. We've just watched the virtual table read put on by Sony and the cast community for the World Central Kitchen and Frontline Foods. With me today is Jamina from Fluffy Town, Jen from Community Rewatch, Alex from Six Seasons in a Podcast, Ed from Save Greendale Podcast, Kevin from Greendale 3, Ben from Good Morning Greendale, and Tim from the already, Jillian from Welcome to Greendale on the top corner right beside me here, and Tim from Already Accepted, one of the other fan accounts. Thank you for watching it with us, and thank you for hanging out with us for a little bit. We just watched the virtual table read together again on Sunday night, and as a fan, like everybody else, I want to know from y'all podcasters, how big is seeing Donald?
I mean,
it was gigantic, because I don't know how everybody else feels, but there was maybe this idea of, is Donald done with, is he at all interested in Community anymore?
Right.
He must be like 3/4 of the way to an EGOT at this point. Like, does he care? And him showing up and him having his full heart and full energy into it, it was the greatest thing. It was fantastic.
Also, I know when he left, he made a post about like how hard it was for him and how guilty he felt, which was, I thought, so lovely that he was so vulnerable with the fans. And obviously it was like this double-edged thing where he loved Community, but he also understood that he had other things to do, and he did them, and my God, he's so talented. So I think, like, as a fan, I'm like, holy crap, he's back, but also like, oh, Donald, like, you're still a part of this, and it's so nice to see you. So I think it meant a lot for that.
Not the group chat, but yes, you're still a part of it.
At least there's a group chat. But I have to say, we've all had those group chats where we're like, this person probably doesn't want to be in this group chat, and it turns out they do. I love that he just slipped so easily back into Troy. Like, that was, and I love that this episode was chosen for a lot of reasons, but obviously it's got that really, really great Troy. This sets up Troy's departure. So I loved that he got to be back for this kind of read, and also just the little things that he would, like, the fact that he was laughing at the jokes still in between. Like, it was huge, because it was so nice to see him slip back into his character.
I mean, not just laughing at the jokes. He talked about how whenever he watches the episode, right? So that and some people we've had the discussion where some people don't necessarily rewatch their stuff or watch anything like that. They're like, once I'm done, I'm done. And especially given the sort of ambiguous way people may have thought he felt about it, it's, nice to know that not only is he, like, definitely feels warm and happy to be there with the rest of them, but also he's still watching the show.
Yeah. Honestly, his appearance was kind of like I was worried about it, honestly. Like, there was like a bit of fear I had, just in general, like, because of everything everyone said about whether he was still interested in it or still cared about it. And, like, the fact that he was able to slide into Troy so easily again, and, like, Troy's by far my favorite character, and I love Donald Glover, and, like, I shouldn't have doubted his ability to do that. But it still sort of just was like this comfort knowing that he still has it in him and he still wants to do it, even if he's too busy most of the time. But
right. I mean, like, I think like everyone else said, there's a lot of emotion about his departure and how he felt doing the show, and that's going to weigh pretty heavily, I think, on our expectation of is he going to come back, and is he going to actually have a good time? Because I was really, first it's like, well, is he even going to be there? And then second, it's like, well, is he going to enjoy being there? Because there's a lot of emotion there. And there was that part of me that really doubted, like, sure, he was going to be there, but I was a little worried that it was going to be not anywhere as good as it was. And I'm glad to say I was wrong about that.
So
that's
wrong.
what I get for doubting Donald Glover, so.
Me too.
Yeah, no, it serves us right, but
doubted Donald Glover. Man.
He's all right. He's fine.
I mean, what has he done since Community?
Yeah, what's he done?
Nothing. Absolutely
Since he can rap, okay. Eddie
No
Murphy,
career.
like, all
He's
right.
really good in concert, y'all.
I think it was interesting to hear him talk about his motivation for doing it. I think it's interesting to hear his motivation for doing the show. In the Q&A, I think for the Darkest Timeline, he talked about just the nostalgia that he's gotten. He's at a certain place in his life, kids and whatnot. And I think it was really helpful to hear that, because I think it's more than just, hey, I'm going to come see you. But like, I think there's a fire within him that's saying that you get when you get to a certain age, that's driving him to really ultimately what we're all hoping for is not just a table read, but a movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what was encouraging to me, is that I think we'll get him involved in a movie.
He was out at the season 6. I mean, he wasn't going to come back even for the brief moment, because they wanted him in one of the pitches, but he wouldn't come back for that. That's pretty well known. And he had interviews where he came out and said, I'm never going back here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think from a fan standpoint, it was like, oh, there's Detroit off, it's gone permanently.
Mm-hmm.
And that never felt good as a fan. So no, I agree with all of you how ultimately this was just really nice. It's just really nice to have an opportunity for him to participate, and then seem really excited to being back there and just goofing off with them and wanting to be a part of that group. So thank God they left him out of the group chat. Make him want it more.
Built that hunger for it.
Make him
make him hungry.
Yeah.
All right, Tim.
Just listening to all of you, I would just have to say, wow, does Parks and Rec have so many amazing things. But, we were kind of wondering what kind of interesting differences you may have noticed between the episode and the script as it was performed in the table read.
There's the line that is about Annie having a apartment.
Yes.
You were waiting for me to jump on that, Matt.
I expected Jen to beat you to this, because that was the first tweet I saw.
I was like, maybe I won't be the first one to say this. But
my husband actually tweeted it, like Michael, my co-host, actually tweeted it out, and because he was like, I don't think I've ever heard that line before.
No.
And so that was, probably a good edit for the best. But
I've got theories, okay, people? Is the Jeff and Annie fan of this podcast group.
As for webcam this far, there's a wall of thing and we're connecting everything.
And it goes all back to the Arizona Matchbook Company, interestingly.
Yeah. The Palomino.
It's a Palomino.
The Palomino.
Good Lord.
See, but this is why I like talking about Community with people who can make those references, because I think that was the one that I literally was, I texted my friend who got me into the show, and I was like, did you know that there was originally a line and this is what they changed it to? And she's like,
and then they tell us not to ship.
They made me this way. Don't write stuff like this if you don't. But also the end tag was different too. Like
Mara was not the bar. Yeah.
I was like, that's a very interesting like change from the original end tag as it currently got.
What they were talking about in the commentaries is when they did the end tag, they wanted to get everybody closer and get them sitting at one table, and I think that ultimately that's what cost them the Mara reference. But there's one other change. Did you catch it? I caught it only today because one of the fans and the tweet was, it's when Troy yells at Mara, he doesn't say shut up when she says silence.
Yeah.
That's an episode.
Way more. Yeah.
It's so succinct. It's like bang.
I think there's also a change in his Fat Albert line. Because I think in the episode he says something like as any American.
Any American would, yes. We did have the song was different because it was, live to us.
Yeah.
That was just a nice touch. I didn't want to forget it.
That was so surprising, but that meant a lot, I think, to see that, to have that played live at the beginning. There.
My favorite thing is watching Pedro watch the cast
dance.
I think that's my new favorite thing.
Cute.
Yeah, and that is not just dancing, because obviously everyone danced, like I danced to that theme song, but watching Pedro amusingly watch all the other cast members.
Yeah, didn't they hear this thing like 100 times? Why aren't they happy? Yeah.
I mean, we've heard it 100 times.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't speak for you,
Way
but I'm still
more.
happy.
It's like theme songs though, like that bring me joy, like Community, Psych, all of those, like that I will sing along to. I'm like, why would I want to skip the intro?
Yeah.
This is not a happy song.
Skip the intro.
Most of season 1 has the intro cut down. We don't actually get the, and so our co-host who has never watched it before, she kept being like, when am I gonna get the theme song back? I miss it. I promise it will be here again. But
you just need $1.25 and you can have one from it.
And then you'll get special theme songs like with Ovid's Uncontrollable Christmas.
Very early into the whole pandemic thing, I noted that the theme song as on the show is about 27 seconds or so, and they were saying, do something 20 seconds when you're washing your hands. So it's still the song when I'm washing my hands. I go to the community theme song all over again. Perfect. So not only am I watching it a lot, it's in my head a lot because got to wash my hands.
So this does lead directly into our next question: was what other things happened? Well, that wasn't my intent.
Okay.
What other things happened in the episode that are the non-verbal parts that you just latched onto that we got from this table read we couldn't have gotten from the original episode?
Oh, one of my favorite tiny things was one of the stage direction is like they all look at each other, and so obviously you're on Zoom and they're all just like randomly looking around, which is not big at all, but I just thought was like totally adorable. And also Zoom is awkward and
incredibly awkward.
It leads to stuff like that.
Yeah.
I have two. When Allison transitions to lying on the floor and then rolls off screen. God bless Allison Brie. And then when Danny has his line as Abed of like when you all chew gum, basically it sounds like machine guns, and he smiles like super bright, and the rest of the cast laughs because they can obviously see him doing that. I think those are.
And Donald's little addition, that got dark. Yes, that was really nice.
I don't know, Ken, the way he was Ken was hanging out for a lot of it, and then he's like grabbing his microphone and bringing it close.
That's how he holds it during Darkest Timeline, and I know he's talked about how people call him out for it, but it's
chaotic.
fun
You
to
don't
watch.
hold the microphone.
Yeah, it's got a stand. It's supposed to be
It's
on
hilarious.
the desk.
Exact same microphone that they use.
And this virtual table read did give us the immortal image of Gillian Jacobs holding proudly her
Yes.
I knew how to change this background. That's what I was doing.
That was my favorite thing that Gillian does a ton of stuff, and I highly recommend anybody who watches it to just go and watch them individually as you watch back through and listen to the thing, because Allison's doing different things, and Gillian's on her feet like the entire time. I find that amazing because they ended up doing like 2 hours of this. They're having fun when we're not looking, and that's probably my favorite part. It's like, oh well, they're in their element and they're really comfortable. No, Gillian, all of them dancing was a lot of fun. Allison checked both of her boobs when she was looking for the tracker.
I need to know the extent to which Pedro Pascal is like friends with all of them, or is that a Dan connection? I
think it's a Gillian connection.
He's really good friends with Gillian, apparently. Like the Darkest Timeline that was just released last night, Pedro talks a lot about it, about Gillian talking to him.
Yeah, and Joel jokes lies so often. It's just kind of hard to tell when he's telling the truth.
No, but like he and Joel are also friends.
Yeah,
he and Joel and he and Gillian, because he was a fan of Community, so he's like at parties, but it's some connection with Gillian and Joel.
No, I like the little extras, the little fake commercial, rah, Purina. That
honestly might be my favorite joke in the whole table read.
A severe looking man, DeLorean. That was a nice touch.
Dan critiquing the script 10 years later, oh, well, that's a double beat.
Stuff like that all the time in the commentaries. This felt like a bonus episode commentary at some point.
Yeah, where they actually paying attention to the episode, which is what Pedro.
What a
I
sweet
want
angel.
everybody's reaction.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my gosh.
So cute. And obviously like a fan and obviously had fun. And like how lovely is that to see someone who wasn't one of the Greendale 7 join them and just like he does like lovingly watch as they like goof around and then obviously he breaks and he's like, how did you do this? And they're like, we would laugh. So it kind of felt like one of us, like someone like just like a fan placed in there and getting to participate, which was really nice. And also he's the Mandalorian, which is awesome. And he's adorable.
I walked out of I don't remember, like I wasn't close enough to my TV, but there's one part where I literally the way that he says it and like maybe it was like he was closer to the mic, but I heard the Mandalorian.
Yeah,
like because there's
like
a lot of
moment,
the scene, you know, there's one moment where I was like, oh,
yeah, I tweeted about that when we were rewatching it, that there's like a weird like something that happens with his mic or something, but it sounds like the vocalization. It sounds like he's speaking through the helmet.
He moves right up on top of it. And you can hear the background audio change, and they're doing the bit.
And it's so great. But I mean, I love that he prepped for this. I love that he's watched the episode. He says that in Ken and Joel's podcast. Like people think that I didn't watch it. I watched the episode multiple times. I read through the script. I still couldn't get through it because it's just so funny. And I was like, that's just such a huge testament to like how big of a fan you are. And also I will watch, like I've watched it on loop of him breaking, especially like with Gillian's line where he's just like, I don't know. But also then it becomes a recurring thing. And then Donald commenting like, you know that the line is going to happen, but they change it up the way that you deliver it every time. So then this happens. But I love him. He needs to be in the movie.
It was a pleasant surprise at how fitting he was for that role too. Like he plays it well, even though it's just the table read. Like I could easily picture him in the actual episode. Not
to take away from Goggins.
No, exactly.
He was incredible in that.
Absolutely,
amazing. But
that's my only negative about Pedro Pascal is that I love Walton Goggins. But I was like, okay, this works. You're like because of all the things you mentioned. I was like, well, you look so adoringly at all of them as they're. And I just can't picture Walton Goggins looking as adoringly
at you.
Different vibe,
So like I was originally sad because I was like, oh, we're not getting Walton. Okay, but you know what? It's made up for it.
He's a lot like Leonard's second nose. It's a lateral move in some ways. It's just a really good. Sorry. It's just a really good switch to somebody who's a lot of. Just enjoyed the heck of it. It was fun.
Yeah.
Am I missing any? Alex, did I miss anything?
I'm not good at asking questions. You don't ask me questions. I ask questions.
What was your
don't
favorite
have me
part
on
of
your
Pedro?
podcast because I'm terrible.
Oh, you were great. You were great.
You were great.
See, I don't want to ask for that, but keep it coming.
This is literally turning into what Joel and Ken do when they start to compliment each other with jokes.
No, you're all equally unlikable.
Thank you.
Fair enough.
Actually, I don't drive like Mike does, so I have to square away time to listen to podcasts. And this is all I get to do now. This is it. I listen to this group. This is all I get to listen to. So if there's any news that happens, you need to mention it. I'm not going to catch
there's
much
this
of it.
thing called the coronavirus. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I was telling a friend, I was like, I get my COVID updates from the darkest timeline from Ken Jeong. So is that not how I'm supposed to be doing this COVID thing?
Every other week, Joe McHale gives me news about it. You know.
Hey, Ken's a doctor, so.
Yeah, he's a doctor.
True, you've got a lot worse resources out there you could be falling back on.
My point exactly. I will be entertained and informed, so I'm just gonna go with it.
Wait for John Oliver to come back and just score whatever he's gonna do on Last Week Tonight from his white void every week. So
He
also has to come back for the movie.
Come on,
please.
Everyone, I need Frankie back.
Yes.
I need Elroy back. Just
Yes.
I need everyone to go on a giant caper together.
Hickey
I don't feel
but
like
we can
Hickey
bring
is
him
gonna
back
come back.
somehow.
Also because
Wait, did Hickey
I thought
die?
he was-
Did I miss that?
I think he's
Oh,
dead.
it's an
Oh,
email.
I am so
Email.
ashamed
Email.
of you, Ed.
I'm so
The
sorry.
You didn't see, you didn't stop the episode and read the inbox? Like all
Did
of us
I tell you how to do
died.
this earlier?
Are you even a fan?
Should you
Instead of
even
lunch
be
lady,
hosting
yeah,
a podcast?
lunch lady's emails, Hickey funeral.
Yeah.
Well, I
That's-
would believe he would fake his death for some reason. You know,
That is
I mean,
true.
He's
like
undercover.
I mean,
Perfect. We can work
That's
this
some
out.
Breaking Bad stuff right there.
honestly, yeah, it could be. Yeah,
Maybe
maybe he moved to New Mexico and that all happens after.
Actually,
guy
Hickey
named
is
Saul.
just Mike after, like, he didn't actually die. He just somehow faked his death, and then he is.
Totally believe that.
he
yeah.
just shows up
He
at
got
the end of
found,
the
so he had to
movie.
piece again.
I've punched
Like,
1,000
after all
hearts in
the-
my lifetime.
Like after all the action has happened, after everything is saved, he just
Yeah.
shows up and is like, they're like, "You're too late." He's like, "Oh, okay," walks off.
Yeah, it shows up to save the day, and the day's
All
already
right.
over. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Tim asked my favorite question I gave to somebody else by mistake.
What does this mean to you, and where do we go from here?
It's very
A movie?
question. And a
Right, I mean,
movie.
immediately.
All right, bye guys.
That's it. Done.
I very frequently, like, I go to conventions and stuff and all that sort of fun stuff. So one of the things, even if a movie doesn't come from this, one of the things I always like to see are casts coming together and just getting to have, like, even 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours worth of fun again, right? It's so nice whenever they seem to actually really love and enjoy each other's company to come back. So obviously I'd like a movie, but also, I don't know, my heart, like, got warmed just getting to see them all smiling at each other through the screen as they kind of relived this moment in time.
Yeah.
I want a movie, obviously. I think that can goes without saying. But I agree. I think that any opportunity to get all of those people back together again and to just watch that, I don't even care what they're doing. They could read an entirely different script of a different show, and that'd
They
be
could
fine
read
with me too.
Parks
Like,
and Rec script. I'd be fine.
they could do anything. They could read the phone book together, and I would be happy because it's so nice to know that they all love each other, because I think that is a rarity when it comes to TV shows, especially ones that run this long and with people having left and after a couple seasons and things like that. But genuinely, it seems like they all love each other and support each other's projects, and obviously doing podcasts together and things like that. So I want a movie ideally, but it made me happy just to know that they were all willing to do this and that they all had as much fun doing it as we had watching it.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I want the movie. I think we're probably all in agreement on that.
I don't want it.
Goodbye. Done.
I'm good.
Want season 7.
How do I
sorry.
I'm
delete
outta
that
here.
one box?
But yeah, I think, kind of just what everyone else was saying. Like, it's just nice to see the whole cast together having fun. I mean, I think there's a big difference between brilliant people who make a show together, who are just, there to punch in, do the work, and go home, compared to someone doing a crew doing a show that all love each other and have fun together. And it came up in the Q&A afterwards, just how much they're all talking to each other and sending texts about, oh, my children are watching this show now and they love this part that you did, and just keeping in touch like that. It all just it warmed my heart in a lot of ways, that I knew I was going to have fun watching it, but I didn't expect to have just so many emotions over it, because you can definitely feel that friendship and love. And so that's that meant quite a lot to me. Actually, it made that day just so much better in every way.
Yeah. I mean, Community is like the most special thing in the entire world to me. Like as soon as the table read started, I just started crying. It was instant. It was unavoidable. And you know, these shows that continue to live on will always live on through fan art and fan projects and online comics. And you can see, you know, there's all these new high schoolers that just love Community, and they've picked their favorite characters, and they have their accounts, and they're all so very, very woke. And it's this great life that keeps these shows in a world where like Netflix pumps shows and a movie every week onto your line, and they just disappear within 24 hours. That this show that started in 2009 is still talked about and discussed, and there are this many people that want to talk about it every week. That's just a testament how I don't know if we can curse freaking good this show is. So yeah, and a movie. It's backwards. It's ruined.
It was completely readable.
It
looked good.
It wasn't backwards.
That was perfect.
I'll pick that up later.
I think adding to that. Oh, sorry, Ed.
No, go ahead.
Go.
Sorry.
Okay, sorry. I was just gonna adding to that. Yeah, obviously movie, duh. And adding to the fan thing, like Doctor Who and Community are the two shows that they've been in my life for like 10 years. So like a third of my life has been spent loving these things, and that's a big deal. Very fickle person, so that's amazing. But to just like see, yeah, like new people coming, and then to see like the OG fans be like, oh, you like the show now, all right, now like join us, and these are the things that you need to look up and listen to the podcast and follow these accounts, and you can keep rewatching it and watch it with commentary. Like that's so exciting that you don't get any of that. Well, I watched it when it aired. That's not necessary. That's not helpful.
It still shows up in Twitter, but it's okay.
Yeah, I don't.
We had to fight for so many fans back then. So
It's true.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing is that like, so obviously I talk to all of you on Twitter, and then there's the group on Facebook, and then there's the Discord, and then there's like so many accounts on Instagram, and there's just like so many different platforms on which you can love Community, which is just so exciting. So it's just nice that like I can continue loving this thing that I've been loving for so long, and I can do it now in such great company. It's like win-win-win.
Yeah. This whole thing, like the table read and the way the fandom has kind of just blown up recently, has felt like just one big victory lap, I feel like, because everyone on the show like individually went off and did such great things and are so successful, but now they're all like coming back together on the table read. It just feels like they're all finally getting to celebrate like the fruits of all of this, and now like people are watching it more than maybe they ever have. I mean, maybe even including when it was airing. And yeah, everyone kind of said all I could say here, but yeah, it just feels like we kind of, whether it's us or the cast or the fans or whatever, we all kind of finally did it, and now everyone loves Community. You know, it's trending on Netflix, so yeah,
we'll take it. Alex, can you hear me? Okay,
yes. Did you have a question, sir?
No, I was seeing if you had. Everybody else spoke. I didn't want to leave you out, but
I like hearing people talk. So I apparently am just a glutton for my ears just talking. I don't know. Anyway, okay. Yeah, I like to edit a lot too. Clearly, so good luck with that.
Yeah, thanks. That's my evening and my holiday seem to be filled now.
You're welcome. Where do we go from here? Is that the question?
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it would be really hard not to believe that Sony and Netflix don't make a deal at this point. They're turning on their social media. You know, they're doing the table read. Yeah, you're welcome. I mean, I talked privately with Sony, and they were hoping for 1.5 million views. We got 2 million views.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It just seems like, guys, let's not get too, our hopes too high. But at the same time, I think let's keep this going. Let's not just pretend that this is nothing either. So that's why I've been very embracing of everyone, just and of the community, and just expand as much as we can, because everyone's, with the combined reach that everyone has and the combined perspectives, we're going to just really we're going to hit a lot of people. So I think that's just how we approach this. And so I don't know, that's my side.
No, I really appreciate every one of you. All right, to kind of wrap it up, Alex helped us get a audio of somebody we all know, and I'm going to, and you mean if I screw this up, you'll have to help me. Like if my voice never comes back after I play this audio.
He's like, I got this.
So I'm gonna record, or hopefully I can play the audio from the computer. Let's see where it is. What?
Hi, this is Ken Jeong of the Darkest Timeline podcast. I just want to give a shout out to all the community podcasts keeping the show and the love and spirit of the show alive. Thank you guys for all your love and support. I want to thank 6 Seasons and a Podcast, Community Rewatch Podcast, Fluffy Town, Save Greendale Committee, Greendale 3, Welcome to Greendale, and Advanced Community Studies. I love you, and Chang the world.
I like that he says of the Darkest Timeline podcast. As if A, we don't know who he is. B, he's not a massive movie and television star. 3, he's not a medical doctor. Says of the Darkest.
You might know me from such things as.
Hi, this is Ken Jeong from All About Steve.
Now seeing his little Facebook Watch commercial that he has.
Yes. He plays the guitar. Oh my God, it's weird and perfect.
Whenever I saw it. I was like,
is he just the nicest person ever?
Yes.
I just want him to suck at something so I feel better.
I will tell anyone who asks that Taran Killam and Ken Jeong are my 2 new favorite people. Sorry, everyone else. Y'all don't exist. They're the nicest.
I asked him like an hour ago. I was like, hey, can you maybe do this? And I was like, oh, Hail Mary. And I did not expect to hear back from him. And he was like, oh, I really want to, but so we might get him again. And yes, he's the nicest person in the world. It's ridiculous.
Well, collectively, to all of you, thank you for all you do, for tonight, for being on and tweeting with us. Rewatching a show is meant to raise money. Thank you for each and every one of you. Thank you for all you do. I'm about to hit the stop button because I know I'm going to have to edit.
Wait, no, don't, because thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Now see, this is, I got to go.
I don't think like all of us wouldn't be here if you went out of your way to reach out to us and get us talking, and just like being so welcoming and just like always retweeting us and like being like, make sure I know you have stuff so that I can retweet it. Like, you don't have to do that. So thank you so much for just being like a genuinely, like, you and Mike are just like the nicest people, and I don't even understand.
Well, he's Canadian, so nice is kind of
That's right.
Matt, you and I have been friends for a very long time.
I've known Jen
for a very long time.
Jen and I have been talking about this show and life. I'm guessing
so
about
I think
8 years. So yeah.
No, but thank you. I mean, you and Mike seriously have been such a fans, and we wouldn't. I don't think all of us would even know each other if it wasn't for you guys helping mobilize us. We have our own group chat, so we're just as cool as the cast.
That's right.
So there's that.
You're collectively worth it. That's what I tell you, and it's always true. It's when you're a community fan, you often feel by yourself, even when you're on Twitter. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the people who love the show because they felt alone, and this show embraced them, already accepted them. And so what this show does, and does for everybody in this group, is say you're not alone. And that's why when you have a new episode, I want people to hear it, because often what your story is that you're telling, even if you're talking to, like Alex interviewing somebody who's a part of the show, or you're talking to somebody who's never seen the show, or you're just recapping the show for yourself, or having a guest, you're introducing something I think is medicine, real useful stuff to everybody. And I have no words for how important you are to me. All right, I'm going to cut that part. All right. I'm actually going to hit the stop recording. So bye, everybody. You can stay on, but I'm going to say bye.
Oh,
Bye.